Welcome to lesson 2.3. In this lesson, we'll be discussing the second of the four primary criteria on how to find hot selling product opportunities on Amazon.com. And this criteria is profitability. Profitability has two components to it. The first is selling price, and the second is important numbers. And the specific numbers that we'll be taking a look at to see how profitable a potential product opportunity is first profit margin and second ROI, which is known as return on investment. And we'll look at how we can calculate both of these numbers to determine the potential profitability of a product. So let's go into selling price. Our criteria for selling price is going to be from around $20 to $50. Okay, so your minimum is going to be around $15 or $20. Try to stick closer to $20 minimum, and your maximum is going to be around $50. Why? Because if your price is too low, then your profit margin will be very low. So anything under $15 or $20, the potential for you to make a high profit margin is very low. The other thing is that even if you're priced at, let's say, $15, $17, $18, if more players come into the market and the competition in your market increases, then generally there's a pricing war that happens, and all of the sellers generally have to lower their price. Otherwise, they'll be undercut, and they won't, people will buy others products because their price is lower. And this happened with me on my first product. I actually started out selling it at $17.99. And a few months later, when so many other sellers had come into the market and the competition increased dramatically, I was forced almost to sell my product for $12.99, so a $5 cut in the price. And of course, my margins suffered tremendously. So that's why I recommend staying close to around $20 minimum, up to around 50. And the reason 50 is the maximum is because if the price is too high, then your upfront costs will be very high, right? So generally for, the average product, that's, again, the range is around 20 to 50. You're hopefully looking at, maybe between $3 to $6 per unit for production. But if you look at any product that's over $50, then generally the upfront costs will be much higher, maybe around, between $6 to $10 per unit. And there's two ways to look at profitability. One is that you can make a high profit margin on each sale, but you're not making that many sales. So for example, if you're making $6 profit per sale, but you're doing 15 sales a day, okay, you're looking at $90 profit a day. Compare that to the second scenario, which is a high sales volume, low profit margin. So instead of 15 sales a day, you're doubling that to 30 sales a day, but your profit is half the $6 profit. It's a $3 profit. You're still resulting in the same $90 profit per day, but you can see the two different ways you can get to that $90 profit a day. If you had the chance, or if you had the ability to decide which one of these you go with, just imagine this exact scenario. What I would prefer is the second one. Okay, so when you are selling more and you're moving more units and more products, Amazon likes that. And Amazon will improve your product rank as you sell more units. Okay, so if the resulting profit is the same, then you're not losing any money or gaining any money in that scenario. But the long-term benefits will be better if you have higher sales volume. So that's preferable. So the second scenario is better. Now I want to show you the three different ways that the selling price of a product can show up on Amazon.com. The first way is what you see here, is just one price. It's in red, and that's the price that the product is being sold at. Okay, so that's very simple. It's just one price, and that's what you're going to buy the product for. The second scenario is when you see two numbers. You see a list price that's gray and it's crossed out, and then you see the price, the red, and that's the actual selling price. So sellers have the ability to put in what is known as an MSRP, or manufacturer's suggested retail price, which on the front end shows up as list price. This is an arbitrary number, and a seller can make it whatever they want. And the actual price, of course, you control as well. And so what Amazon does is it crosses out the higher price, and it shows how much the customer will save if they purchase at this price, which is in red. Okay, so that's the second scenario. And then the third and final one is an even additional price. So not only do you see a list price, but you see a price, both of which are crossed out, and then you see a sale price. Okay, and sellers also have the ability to do this at any time, at any point, to put in two prices and then put in a third sale price. And as you can see, the discount appears, greater in the final scenario. The reason I'm showing you these three is because when you're looking for products that are between $20 and $50, you need to know which price to look at. Okay, so as I mentioned, the numbers that you see that are in gray, that are crossed out, those are arbitrary numbers. You don't want to look at them at all. You don't want to consider them. Okay, you're going to look at the price in red for any product. That's what you're going to look at to determine whether it meets the criteria or not of being between around 15 to 20 to maximum $50. Now, the second component of profitability is important numbers. And as I said, there are two numbers that we're going to take a look at. The first is profit margin. We're going to look for products that have profit margins of around 40 to 50%. And 30% is okay the first time, because anytime you start out, in an initiative or a business, of course, you're not able to optimize your expenses, right? You do that later, right? If it's the first time, there's always costs that, you may, because it's your first time going through this, you don't necessarily know where you can save those costs or where you can save money. So the first time, 30% is okay. The other reason it's okay to have a lower profit margin the first time is because even with your supplier, right? Your supplier's going to give you more of a discount the second time you place an order than the first time. So, let's say he's giving you $4 a unit this time. Next time you can ask for, let's say, a 10% discount because you're a recurring customer. So that's why profit margin will hopefully increase over time as you continue this business. So this first time, even around 30% is okay for profit margin. Next, we're going to take a look at ROI, return on investment. And the way we can implement this process, and by determining and calculating these important numbers, is by using a tool known as the FBA Revenue Calculator. This is a free tool available online. We're actually going to jump into this right now, and I'll show you how we can figure out what the potential profit margins are going to be and what the potential ROI is going to be for any product on Amazon. Okay, we're going to start on google.com and go ahead and type in FBA Revenue Calculator. And it should be the second result that comes up, the one that says FBA Revenue Calculator - Amazon Seller Central. Go ahead and click into that, and this is what you should see pop up. And as you see, this bottom area is whited out, and the reason for that is because we have to enter something here to be able to use the calculator. So what we have to enter here is known as the ASIN of a product. So let's say we go to the product that we found, which is this one, right? This is, again, the salt grinder. This is kind of the case study we'll continue to use throughout these videos to keep the examples consistent. And this one is priced at $24.99, okay? So the way we find the ASIN of any product, there are two ways. One, we can go up to the URL, and the few all caps letters that show up after DP slash, okay? So starting from this capital B all the way to the next slash, that's the ASIN. So what I've highlighted here, that is known as the ASIN. You can also scroll down on the listing, and under product details, you'll see the ASIN. Okay, so those are the two ways to find the ASIN of any product on Amazon. So what we have to do is go ahead and copy that ASIN and go back to the FBA Revenue Calculator and paste it and click on search. And now it brings up this product, and the next thing we need to do is enter the price. So again, under the Amazon fulfillment column, okay, because we're going to be using FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, we have to put the price. What's important here is that do not enter the price of any item that you've seen that that we see on Amazon. So we're not going to enter $24.99, which is the price of this product. What this means is, what price are you going to sell your product at? That is what the calculator will use to determine the potential profitability of the product. Okay, so the easy way to determine price is to just go back and look at the top 5 results that we had pulled up. Okay, so we look at this one. This is around $7. This is 25. This one is 13. This one is 8. This one is around 20. So if I was to, let's say, try to compete with this guy, right? He's around $24.99. I could easily price my product, let's say, at $19.99. And if I had, let's say, the same style of salt grinder, then I could undercut him by $5. And $19.99 is would be an okay price in this scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 19.99. Again, that's the selling price. That's the price at which I would sell the product if I decided to go with this product. Once I enter the price, I don't need to do anything else. Go ahead and click calculate. And once you click calculate, Amazon will pull up all of these numbers. And what these numbers show is that Amazon, for every sale that you make for this product at this price point of $19.99, Amazon will take out $5.68 total. Okay, so the Amazon referral fee is $3. Okay, and the fulfillment cost for FBA is $2.68. So for you being a seller on Amazon, they're taking $3. That's unavoidable. And because we're using FBA, their fulfillment services, they're taking out an additional $2.68 to make the total $5.68. And so for every sale on Amazon, you'll actually make a profit. What Amazon will pay you is $14.31. Now, of course, we're going to go back to the presentation and determine what the actual profit margin is going to be, because this doesn't include, of course, our production costs, right? Whatever we paid our supplier or manufacturer. So we do have to take into account some other costs to actually get to the final profit margin number. So let's go ahead and do that. So we just looked at how to use the FBA revenue calculator to determine the profit margin and ROI for any potential product opportunity. Now to recap, let's take a look at the steps we followed. First, we found the product listing of one of the top 3 search results for our main keyword. Next, we copied the ASIN of that product. Then we went to Google, or we can go directly to the page where we find the FBA revenue calculator. Step 4, we pasted the ASIN and then we clicked search. Then we saw that the FBA revenue calculator generates 2 columns, and under the Amazon fulfillment column we put the selling price. Okay, so not the price that the potential product is currently being sold at, or the product that you found, but what you will sell that product for. What price will you sell that product for? Enter that price in and then click calculate. The bold green number at the bottom of the Amazon fulfillment column is what Amazon will pay you for every sale of that product at the entered selling price. So what we'll now do is subtract the total manufacturing cost, including shipping, from the bold green number to get your profit amount per sale. And finally, we'll divide the profit number from the selling price to get your profit margin. So step 6 and 7, I know in words it's kind of confusing, so let's actually look at it practically. So we entered the selling price of the salt grinder at $19.99. Okay, so we saw that the salt grinder that we found was selling for $24.99, and we thought that, okay, based on the other prices of the top 5 results, $19.99 may be a good price to sell our product at. So then we saw that according to the FBA revenue calculator, Amazon pays us $14.31 per sale, meaning that they're taking $5.68 for both selling on Amazon and also using FBA. That's a combined amount. Now, to manufacture and ship my product, let's say that I paid $5. Okay, again, so that's an estimate, and it's generally a good estimate to use in almost any scenario, especially if you have a small product such as this one. $4 or $5 is a good range. So that's why I entered $5 to manufacture and ship the product. Per sale, I make a profit of $9.31. And the way we got that number is we subtracted whatever Amazon pays us per sale, which is $14.31, by whatever our manufacturing or production cost was, and include the shipping cost in that as well. And we result in $9.31 profit per sale. What that means is that our profit margin is around 46%. Okay, the way we get that number is we divide the profit per sale, which is $9.31, by the selling price, which is $19.99, and we get around 46% profit margin, which is excellent. Next, we look at how to get ROI. So if we look at how much you invested, okay, ROI is simply return on investment. How much did you put in and how much did you get back? So you put in $5 to manufacture and produce this product and have it shipped to Amazon, and when that product sold, you received profit of $9.31. So that means your ROI is about 186%. Okay, the way you get ROI is you divide what you got back by what you put in. So you divide $9.31 by $5, and that results in about 186% ROI, which is amazing. if you can tell me about a business where in a matter of weeks you can make an ROI, okay, the return on your investment of 186%, it's unheard of. So that's why, again, this business, the potential to make profits and get a good return on your investment is huge. So let's recap the second primary criteria, which is profitability. We said that there are two components. Number one, selling price. Okay, we said that we want to look for a product that has the selling price from minimum $15 or $20 to maximum $50. And next we looked at important numbers, and the two specific numbers we looked at were profit margin and ROI, and we looked at how we can use the FBA revenue calculator, which is a free online tool, to determine and calculate both of these numbers.